Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Just blew my mind.
Yeah. Monday, 9:56 p.m. OMG, don't watch Thunderforce on Netflix. I suffered enough for the both of us.
Oh no, I legit almost did a few times. I look forward to your scathing review.
Tuesday, 7:10 a.m. Scathing it shall be. I think I was the target audience and I'm offended. And as we do our podcast, I'm learning more about how hard good comedy is to get right.
Wednesday, 7:24 a.m. ... Your distaste for Thunderforce has only made me more curious.
Honestly, maybe you should watch it and then we can review on podcast.
That's probably what will happen. We'll just have to create rules of decorum to prevent the demise of our positive vibes and maintain our critical lens. JK, we'll start the episode with a reading, which will be, oh my god, don't watch Thunderforce on Netflix. I suffered enough for the both of us.
Wednesday, 9:28 a.m. LOL, LOL, LOL. Now I really want you to watch it and hear your initial response.
I started it last night out of morbid curiosity, but had to stop because it was late. I will watch it.
GIF of Chris Farley failing at a seatbelt. Tagline, buckle up, boys.
LOL, this is more hype than we've had for any other movie besides maybe Tenet. I think we should do an episode of Thunderforce, and the intro will just be us reading our text convo aloud as ourselves.
All caps, yes. So, okay. This movie kind of came on my radar, Alon, because of Bridesmaids, because we had just done the episode on Bridesmaids, just had talked about setting up for the episode. And I really do like Melissa McCarthy. And I saw this come up and I thought the name was funny, Thunderforce, because it's funny. And it's, yeah.
It seems like it's not going to be, it's going to be like different.
Something else.
I'm waving my hands in the air. People can't see me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to quickly give the tagline from IMDb. In a world where supervillains are commonplace, two estranged childhood best friends reunite after one devises a treatment that gives them powers to protect their city.
Directed by Ben Falcone, who is Melissa McCarthy's husband.
Yep, hubby. And the main, I'll just read off the first few names. Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer, Jason Bateman, Bobby Cannavale? How do you?
No clue.
Okay, great. Tom Clementif and Melissa Leo are the main players. Ben Falcone is in it as well. He has a small role.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of have this understanding, not kind of, we've been really clear about not wanting to step into a space where we are utterly disruptive around someone's process, right? Around how much work has gone into something.
We love movies. We like to honor
movies.
Them.
Yeah, we love movies. And this was not, help me out.
This is what I struggle with with comedy in general. This is what I've struggled with since watching, like when I was a teen and I would watch comedies, and half the comedies I would watch, I'd be left feeling unresolved. And this film has left me with that feeling because I wanted to pull me in with the humor, but I wanted to fulfill the promise of a good story with characters I care about. Because no matter the comedy, if I don't care about the characters and I don't care about the story in the end, then nothing else kind of really matters. So that's my struggle with this. And I think that's sort of I'm couching it within the genre of comedy. And then to go to the trailer, it's funny because I saw the trailer on Netflix because it's just, now they've got this genius thing they do. Genius for them, terrible for me, but it
terrible
just starts
for a lot of
playing
people.
trailers. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, this looks great. It's like 90 minutes or something. And I'll watch this like one night when I have a little bit of extra time, and it'll be funny. And then before I could get around to watching it, you sent me the text that we have now, the original text saying, I just saved you 90 minutes of your life, basically. So that's a long way of saying that it feels like they just didn't fulfill the promise of the trailer, which was like,
yeah. Well, I also just don't think
unfulfilled potential, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like it felt like flat soda. It felt like, you know, you bought a bottle of something that you really thought was going to be delicious, and not only was it not delicious, it was kind of this bitter, flat stuff that was a real bummer thing.
It's a real bum.
It was a real bum.
The
But
key
like
thing about the flat soda metaphor, which I think is so on point, which I'm going to use that now from now on, is it's 50% about not the fact that it's flat soda, but that you're expecting carbonation.
Yes. Well, and like there were a couple times where it felt like they shook the bottle and like something was going to happen that would be so funny, and then it was still flat. And then you take a sip and it's not what you thought it was going to taste like at all. So there's a scene where, so just really, really fast, there are these two friends. They were, you know, middle school, high school friends, and they go different ways. And we have no backstory beyond that. We don't know what happened. It looked like at one point, Melissa McCarthy's character was wearing a wedding ring and also fatigues that belong to somebody, but there's never any content about what happened to her and why she's alone. Octavia Spencer's character has a daughter, but that's kind of, we don't really get any more than that. You know, it's just very kind of, you know, circumstances present that Melissa McCarthy's character gets the powers that Octavia Spencer's character was supposed to get. And they go and try to fight crime in a store. And one of these, what are they called?
Miscreants.
Thank you. But he's a half-creant, played by Jason.
Jason Bateman, yeah.
Comes in, and clearly we're supposed to believe that there is this insatiable chemistry between him and Melissa's character. And it goes into this, like 80s dance.
I am the embodiment of the WTF shrugging emoji right now. Like I don't know how to describe like what I'm doing. Yeah. What? And also, by the way, he has crab arms, like crab pincers for arms. And that's his power.
And that's his, right. And so that happened. I was like, okay.
And that happened. I think that as I think about it more with you, I'm like, it's like the framework for what they were trying to do wasn't strong enough.
Yes.
Like, yes, you're leaning on the superhero genre. That you're, I guess, in a sense, they're trying to parody the superhero genre, and then maybe that's what they were trying to do, and they didn't succeed in that. That's kind of unclear to me, because there was a lot of focus on Jason Bateman's like crab arm character, but it's like it was like a little too far off.
Yeah, and then there was a piece of it that she was turned on by the arms, but also kind of wanted to eat the arms. And then you and I kind of talked. So as a rule, we try not to talk about movies when we're not doing this, because we know how much fun it can be when it's sort of a spontaneous thing. But we had to just, we both had to just kind of talk a little bit about this movie, because we were just still like, what?
Yep.
Raw chicken is not funny.
No.
It was so disgusting that was like a bonding point between those two characters. And like, I just don't.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, that was just gross. Like
But that in conjunction with her buttering his arms and then like sprinkling Old Bay, I was like, there's a sex food play thing happening here. And I'm not bashing food play. I know for some people that's really, really a thing. But it like you said, the framework wasn't strong enough, and I felt like they couldn't decide what kind of movie they wanted to be. And these are powerhouses of comedy, and I was like, how do you feel about this movie doing this? You know?
Right. This felt like, some of the things they pulled into this felt like, I'm trying to think of a good example to compare this to, but it felt like when I would play video games in the 90s, and when I got into my 20s, I'd say when I got into the 2000s, when I was in my 20s, I'd look back and say, the people who made this video game were smoking weed when they made this. I know that because you don't think of this kind of stuff like Earthworm Jim, like an earthworm who has superpowers and like runs around shooting things with a blaster, unless you're high out of your mind. That's where you come
Didn't
up with
he
this
yell
stuff.
plasma?
Or
Is that, am
something
I remembering
like
that? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's like, but that's where I think like things like Jason Bateman's character based on nothing just has crab arms. There's no backstory comes from. It's like you have.
He was in the ocean. Whenever something happened, like we actually have more of a backstory on him than anybody else.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
They expose that backstory through conversation, talking about his
dead wife or divorced wife or
divorced wife, I think. That is a good point. He gets more backstory than any of the main characters.
Anybody else. We have zero backstory on Melissa McCarthy.
She works in a shipping container yard. It's tied to Tenet. Didn't you know this was a sequel to
So
Tenet?
sorry. Of course. Of course it is. That makes all the sense. This is what Megan's character did after Bridesmaids. She went to go work for Tenet. That's what it was. Oh my gosh. Did you recognize the main bad miscreant with the beautiful long ponytail that Melissa McCarthy's character really wanted to cut?
Palm Clement. No.
It's Mantis from all of the Avengers movies.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Well, she plays a very opposite
incredible
character in I'm doing
Avengers.
But which Avengers?
Guardians. Oh my gosh.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like, wait, is he testing me?
When you say Avengers movies, that's how many hours of film that we're now talking about?
Yeah, no, that's fair. She's in the Guardians.
600 years of your life.
Exactly. But also she's done her resume is kind of incredible, and she's done some very, very dark stuff too. There's a movie called Old Boy that's really quite something, very, very disturbing and dark. And she's in that, but she can definitely play the badass, and I think she played it well.
100%.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's about to be in Mission Impossible 7 and Mission Impossible 8, which are
excellent.
Filming currently.
Excellent. I do know they're filming. Thank you, Simon Pegg's Instagram. Hilarity.
Oh yeah. If anyone hasn't checked out Simon Pegg's,
I'm so glad
Instagram.
He's on there. I enjoy him so much.
He's the kind of guy, he's not in this movie, but we're going to go on a tangent. I just want to hang out with him.
I totally just want to hang out with him. One of my favorite movies, just sort of as an aside, is not a good movie, but it's called Man Up, and it's him and Lake Bell, and it's really not a good movie, but it's so funny. He's so funny in it. Anyway, speaking of comedies that hit a lot better, and also I felt like some of the pauses, the writing didn't really feel strong to me. I don't know if they had just over edited it. Everybody felt really flat, like the characters. Yeah.
There wasn't anyone who I cared about.
Yeah.
I think there has to be someone in the film who actually is like what I just said about Simon Pegg. There has to be someone who you're like, I'd really love to grab a beer with that person.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And there really wasn't anybody.
Melissa McCarthy as an actor. Is that we're saying actor? Yeah.
I think we're using actor more. I actually don't know if there's a different term at this point.
Melissa McCarthy as a thespian. Can I use that? She is that person in general. I'm like, I want to hang out with her. The rest of you, I don't care how famous you are. But in this movie, I was like, yeah.
I feel like I was kind of borderline that, and then she started downing all the raw chicken, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah. Not gonna happen. I think, you know what I'm realizing too, going away from the raw chicken thing, is that some of it felt too predictable. Like, okay, she gets super strength. Like, what's going to happen? She's going to get into some hijinks. But how do you keep that fresh without it being obvious? Like, because a lot of it was just in the trailer. Like, she throws a bus. That's bad. Okay. Like,
right. And it's like, we're going to fight, and then we're going to make up, and then we're going to fight. Like, it just, there wasn't, it was. And I guess the sort of the in quotes fresh part was that it was two middle-aged women. One is black, one is white. right? And I remember when I saw the trailer for the first time, they open with them, they're waiting for a cue, and they're both singing Kiss from a Rose by Seal. And I was like, all right, this is funny because I would be standing there singing the same thing with them, you know. But that was about it, you know, and then it just kind of.
Right. If I could go back and be like, okay, do you have 6 more scenes like this? Because you need to put those back into the film.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because those are the scenes, those are the chemistry between them. And
Mm-hmm.
those are the scenes that I'm like, oh, this is funny. Like, they're real people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually most of what this movie was supposed to be, was to not superheroes.
Right.
Being human.
Being human together. Yeah. Yeah. It was a bummer. It was such a bummer. And I was
this is our last episode and we're going to slip into a deep depression now.
Deep depression. I mean, I was saying right before we started recording that the IMDb rating is 4.3, and I haven't actually looked at the reviews that people have given yet. I try not to do that too much sometimes because people can be pretty nasty sometimes, but I'm actually curious what people were responding to in this. This is one of those movies where I'm like, I want to see what was the stuff you cut out. Was there other stuff that, you know, could have made this a little bit more robust? I don't know.
Had to have been, but yeah, who knows? Also, so like, to go on to this tangent here about like reviews, is I don't spend too much time on IMDb with these things, or like Rotten Tomatoes. Is it similar to like Amazon reviews, where there's the 5-star people who don't actually have a real opinion, the 1-star people who had a bad day, so they're not impartial, you know, the 5-star people are like, this is the best movie I've ever seen, and then they say that on everything, and then the 1-star people are like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen, the product is terrible, and then at the end they go, and my dog just died, and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't seem to be changing you, and you have to listen to the 3-star reviews. Yeah,
I think I would say, so I'm just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What does that mean?
That's very bad.
Oh, out of 100.
Out of 100, yeah. Yeah. It got a few chuckles, but Thunderforce is largely a superhero comedy that's neither exciting nor funny, and a waste of the co-star's talent. That's on Rotten Tomatoes. I think not Thunderforce. I think IMDb is kind of a mix of what you said. It's definitely, there are some folks on there who are just like really into just talking about what the movie did or did not deliver, and then there are the people who are just like just very polarizing in general.
Dinner was cold that night, so I'm giving us 1 star. but generally
it's usually about the movies, and people can be pretty articulate about what their issues were. Obviously sometimes I don't agree with the issues, but yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is out of 100, and so it got 24. Yeah, I have to agree with that. What I read, it just didn't, it was like, man, yeah. Not good.
But I think what we've done now is what you did to me, which is people who haven't seen it and are now listening to our podcast episode are now going to be like, well, what should I have to go see this movie to see if I agree with them. So hopefully they do, and we'll see what they say.
And may they form their own thoughts on it. But it was just funny timing with the other movie that we had to kind of, you know, we wanted to do something small. And the other reason we wanted to do this little episode was because there will be a bit of a hiatus for us for a few months while some life happens. And so this is sort of we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But any last thoughts? I don't even want to end with the ending on it because it was like
this movie ends with you seeing other movies Melissa McCarthy is in, such as Spy, which I'm now going to plug for the second time.
Nice. I will see it, and we can talk about it at another time.
Apparently they're filming a Thor Love and Thunder. Yeah,
well, that's going to be the same director as Ragnarok. So oh, yeah.
Taika Waititi?
Uh-huh.
What?
Yes. So we can't bash all movies that have thunder in the name just yet.
Oh, I didn't even think about the thunder thing. Yeah.
Oh, it's all I thought of.
No, I just noticed that context. She's in this movie that's filming in 2022.
Melissa's in Love and Thunder?
That's what it says.
I am very excited by that content.
It says she's playing Hela?
Melissa McCarthy?
Look, I could be wrong. Yeah, stars Melissa McCarthy.
Because that was who Kate Blanchett played.
It says she's playing... Why does it say she's playing actor Hela? Okay, we know nothing about this.
Oh, actor Hela. Okay, what that means, it's gonna... So remember in Ragnarok, when there's like Matt Damon playing Thor?
Oh.
That's... Okay, now I'm really excited.
Nice.
It's gonna be great. Oh my gosh. She's gonna be awesome.
That is amazing. Okay,
awesome.
Well, we're not gonna end with the ending. We're just gonna say, see you all soon.
See you all soon.
Reps.
We'll be excited when we restart. And until then, stay safe. Keep watching movies.
Yeah, keep watching movies. Exactly. Love it. This movie ends with you seeing other movies than Blooper.